The Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast, and here is your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And we are live. Welcome to episode 5 of The Simpsons Index. We are going straight on from 4, so excuse us if this episode is a little bit more tipsy than the others. I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. That's right, your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. Elliot J. O'Neill, your host. I am joined by...
Hello, Bart.
And...
I'm Sideshow Bob.
I think I said this at the beginning of the last episode. We've been drinking!
We've been
Oh
drinking.
man, that was the worst Fraser Crane I've ever done.
We just watched season 1, episode 3 of The Simpsons, which is Homer's Odyssey. And I picked this one. I'm usually picking the post-20 episodes because I'm the only one who knows the post-20 episodes.
You
But
just
today,
dive on that bullet every time.
Yep, but speaking of diving on bullets, I wanted to rip this Band-Aid right off because I do not like this episode. I think it is the worst of the first decade, and I wanted to prove that to you guys. Am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know if you're wrong about being the worst one of the... Because I haven't seen them all recently enough to really make an opinion.
Sure.
It's not that bad, though. Again, I think you may have just been prepping us for, a garbage truck full of flaming syringes, but it wasn't that bad.
All right.
I reckon if I sat down and looked, I could find you plenty worse episodes in the first 9 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing special. It was definitely more of a feel-good movie. It's episode than a laugh-a-minute thrill ride.
Yeah.
Very It's a Wonderful Life, hey?
Do you want to maybe wrap
Yeah.
this one up, as it's probably one of the lesser well-known episodes?
Oh, right.
Sorry, I meant sum up, not wrap up.
Yeah, sure, the synopses. Yeah, this is actually one that I've sort of talked to a few people about, and they don't really remember it. They remember elements of this episode, like Black Smithers, Wendell on the bus,
Homer becoming the safety inspector.
Yeah, and there's a bit of foreshadowing in that, and to set up his job for the rest of the series run. But so the storyline pretty much goes like, Homer's Bart's about to go on a tour of the nuclear power plant, and then it shifts focus to Homer, where he fucks up on the job while the kids are watching, and he gets fired. And then he's trying to get a job, doesn't get a job, goes to commit suicide in a bit that lasts for about 7 minutes, which is so dark. That really puts me off. And then upon his family saving him from committing suicide, they almost get hit by a car. He sweeps them out of the way and realizes that his calling is now to put safety signs everywhere. And that in turn leads to him challenging Mr. Burns and the nuclear power plant safety, which in turn leads to Mr. Burns hiring him as the new safety inspector.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the episode.
That's the episode.
I synopsised it.
Synopsized.
So, look, it is. I recognize that it's a little unfair of me to say, put so much hate on it because it is the 3rd episode of the show, and
it's
it was
definitely
very much
finding
funny.
speed.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's also your Band-Aid. It's the one that you know you don't like and to have to face into. But that's it. It's not too bad. It's definitely more of your heart. If there were some better jokes in there than I thought, which was nice to see, which was like he cracks open Bart's piggy bank looking for enough money to buy just one beer, and he's like, no, what have I done? Not even enough for one beer. Wait, let me check. Not even enough for one beer.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Wendell on the bus about to throw up. That became timeless.
Yeah, that was my early Homer impersonation, by the way. It was awful.
That was pretty good, man. No,
It's surprisingly high pitched. The early days. Yeah.
We were doing-
Otto's tattoo. Being like, not until you're 14, man.
Yeah,
kind of funny.
Good bit. I liked the suicide note. If there's any one joke that came good out of that, it was the warm regards. No, with all my love. That was good, but the rest of it is just like, no,
Tell
I'm
my
about to
wife.
plunge into my watery grave, and you'll do better off without me. It's
what about
so
he
dark?
and he drags the boulder all the way there.
Oh
and
man,
gets
there's a boulder waiting there at the end.
Yeah, and he says, "You live, you learn."
You live, you learn.
There's some very slick jokes in there, but
They're slick and they're
I can
smart.
see why you don't like it. It's surprisingly dark.
Yeah, and it's dull. Like, it's very slow paced. It's very slow moving, and
It's sort of what you get from the first season, though.
yeah,
Pacing is like that, especially the
And
first episode.
You can tell they had no budget because the animation is choppy as hell.
Yeah,
and
Yeah, but even Simpsons roasting on an open fire, the first episode, like, there is good pacing in it, and there's so many good jokes, and, like, I don't know if you've revisited it lately,
No.
but I watched it probably last year, and I was like, oh, wow, this is actually surprisingly solid, and, like, I don't like a lot of pilot episodes of shows, and, like, that one was like, oh, wow, they earned it.
You know what this one felt more like? The pacing on... You know the one where Bart steals the thing?
Yeah, the head, yeah.
Yeah. I always felt it was a good... What? No. No,
Sorry,
steals the video game.
About to say,
And
steals the head or
cop,
steals the video
the
game?
security guard takes him
Store.
upstairs. And,
Oh, yeah.
and he's really nervous about his parents finding out. And the parents come and there's a happy Christmas. I always felt like it wasn't a bad episode, but the pacing was really funny.
Oh, okay.
Like, it feels really, like, slow to watch. And there's no real payoff to it, and you're just sort of sitting around waiting for the parents to show up. Then you're sitting around waiting for the...
To be fair, we got Thrill House out of that episode.
Oh man, I know. And here, dude, we got like, what did we get? Was it Wendell? Wendell was pretty good.
Yeah. Throws up on every bus trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got Black Smithers as well, which...
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of trivia. So this was the first and only season that the animation was done by Klasky Cuspo. I don't know actually how to pronounce it. It's weird. But they also did a lot of Nick shows like Our Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, and that. And
Yeah.
they were assigned The Simpsons first season, and Bart the Genius was actually meant to be the first episode. But that came back so bad that they demanded Klasky Cuspo do a redo, and then they put Simpsons Open Fire. Anyway, this was an episode that also came back looking really bad, and but they didn't have the time or money to afford to redo this one. And Black Smithers felt off to them because Smithers was always meant to be like a subservient character to Mr. Burns. Is that correct?
That's the correct word, yes.
And they didn't feel comfortable like someone being so slavishly devoted to a white man if they were black. So yeah, they made Smithers white again later on.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that
Simpsons white.
Simpsons white. I was thinking with a conspiracy, the power plant is turning people yellow.
Yeah.
And turning their hair blue. I like, because this is early seasons where you get Chief Wiggum has black hair.
Yeah.
A few other changes like that.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, you pointed out actually there was probably a more ratio of darker skinned characters in this episode than there usually are.
Yeah, there were heaps. I mean, even in the crowd scenes, I'd say a good 40-50% of the crowd was black or some sort of darker shade.
And it's because they're all being changed slowly. Some are resistant to the nuclear effects.
And so you look at the crowds these days, and they're 90% yellow.
Yep. And so, because of
conspiracy.
Hashtag conspiracy.
So yeah, that
We're
that's
through the looking glass here, people.
Oh, another great episode. So yeah, I'm glad we ripped that Band-Aid off anyway. Let's do the quiz. Talking your history in the episode, what did you think then?
In 1989, I was 4 years old.
Give it 3 years because the Simpsons didn't air on our shores till like 91, 92 or something.
I barely remember last week, man. You're asking me what I was doing when I was 6.
Well, like I was saying before, this is an episode that actually doesn't stick in many people's memories, and they sort of really forget it, and you sort of go, Wendell, Black Smithers, oh yeah, there was that one. But you don't really remember the rest of it. And, like, when I revisited this recently, I didn't remember it, and then I was like, oh wow, I was surprised with how dark it was. Like, but yeah, I remembered those elements. What about you guys?
I mean, in those days, I was cleaning a lot of paints in Memphis, pump a lot of paint down in New Orleans. But this was just something that happened, I think. And I don't really remember it. I remember the jokes. Remember it. Yeah. That's how he. It was more that that's how he got to be safety inspector. It wasn't really anything else other than that. It was just a means to an end, I suppose.
Sure.
So that's.
Yeah, I remember bits of it. I mean, 6 years old. You know, what do you expect me to remember? But I remember bits. Yeah. I remember the boulder gag.
Yeah, that one sticks out to me.
There was a boulder at the end there. He's like, oh, I didn't have to push the boulder the whole way. 6-year-old me gets this joke.
Yeah. Whereas you're not really thinking about suicide and cold, watery...
Yeah.
I do actually like there's a bit in when he's writing the suicide note. I think you tried to allude to it or I forgot. It was... I can only leave you the words my father gave me. Put your
Oh,
head
yeah.
up, chin up, keep fighting, and don't never ever give up. Hopefully, I can be a better example.
Yeah, it's not really a one that sticks in anyone's memory, unlike a lot of the early episodes, like roasting on an open fire, or perhaps Bart the Genius, or even the other season 1 episode that I'm not fond of, the Jacques the Bowler one.
Oh,
Jacques.
man. That's supposed to be amazing.
Mr.
I haven't seen it
Brunswick.
in a while, but reviews.
Crazy good.
Jacques.
I mean-
for Jacques being a complex, well-rounded character.
Yeah. and if Marge hadn't driven down that ironic street.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that one when we do. So you don't think this one's really been revisited, even in syndication? Like,
Nah, I don't think so.
It doesn't get a lot
They
of
tend to
reruns.
avoid the early
Season one,
ones.
Yeah.
as a rule, doesn't get a lot of reruns.
Yeah.
yeah.
When was the last time, like, not Camp Krusty,
Camp Beehives and shit
Yeah.
aired on TV, you know?
Camp Beehive.
Yeah.
the one where they get naked and they go camping and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Actual
Oh,
camping.
Monkey Man.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Season
like-
1.
It's season 1, but it feels like season like
Zero.
-3.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, yeah. Actually, God, I should do that for an experiment one night. We'll just watch all the Ullman shorts. Because I haven't seen any of them outside the ones that they showed in the 137th episode spectacular.
Yeah.
All right, would you watch this episode again, Beach?
Do I have anything else to do?
Again, at the very least, you're hungover. It's on.
I'd take a nap.
Yeah. How about
think-
you, Shag? You sleeping through this?
I'd leave it on. I don't know if it makes it to the end. No, I didn't mind this one. Like it was alright. It was a little more feel goody than I kind of bother with, to be honest.
Yep.
Light on jokes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if this was a movie, my mum would probably watch it.
Damn.
Like-
Scathing indictment there.
No, it just means a man near at the end of his wits makes a revelation to better serve and protect his town for his family.
It's in the era that I like. It's got
It's-
that
it's-
feel that I like, that early Simpsons vibe.
Plot wise, it's almost a Hallmark.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Does it feel like a Simpsons episode?
Elements, but overall, no. Overall vibe, not really. But
Yeah. Because it's from the other side. Like,
Yeah.
here is where they're still trying to find what it means to feel like a Simpsons
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Sure.
Later on, it's where they've forgotten what it means to be a Simpsons episode. You know?
And yeah, and I guess that's why you can forgive some of the first season for those sort
Yeah,
of problems.
for
Because they're sitting there. This is the third episode. They're sitting there going, "Who are we?"
In a weird Walter Matthau-ish voice. Who are we? Let's get some frosty chocolate milkshakes.
Yeah, exactly. The characters haven't found their voices yet. Even writers are still working out how do we do this. They're all like, "Oh my god, do we have money to write cartoons?
Yeah.
What?
Aimed at adults.
What? This hasn't been a thing before."
Hey guys, this is 1989. We're about to head into the 90s. I reckon we have a 10-year-old boy who rides a skateboard in the hallway.
Whoa,
Get out of town.
he will just be the raddest dude.
Cowabunga.
Oh my god, right there. Oh, writing? Are you recording? You gotta write
I'm
this
writing
down.
this out.
Write it down.
I'm recording this on tape because it's the 80s.
Oh, my dictaphone.
Record this on my Betamax.
So do you recommend ours watch it?
No.
No. How about you, Shaq?
Doesn't really bring anything to the table.
There's a few
really.
cute gags in it, but pretty much all of it's revisited later. The Wendell stuff, the
Yeah.
tattoo stuff,
Yep.
you know? It all comes back later on. You can catch it then.
We can call it a foundation, but it's not something you don't call a friend around to your house to come look at your foundations.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's some solid bedrock. Check that out. Yeah,
This
Have you
guy's
got-
been on fire tonight.
Yeah.
nearly literally.
In joke, yeah, Pete almost set himself on fire to avoid an awkward situation.
That's what I do, ladies.
Because this is not one that sticks in the front of your memory, but yeah, was there anything that sort of surprised you when watching the episode again? Oh, I didn't realize that happened, or I didn't remember that. I guess for me it was like, oh, this is where the safety inspector thing came from.
I think I missed the gag in the suicide note.
Yeah, his dad being all like,
Never give up.
keep your head up and keep on struggling.
In his suicide note. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In the home stretch, comment on the wackiness. None,
Oh,
really.
zero, like very low. Wendell is the wackiest thing we got out of this. Maybe. Kid who vomits all the time. You know, it's not even wacky. That's just sad.
No, even like Homer causing the Oh, I guess there's some wacky sign gags, like. But even you said it, Shag. Like caution sign ahead. That was funny then, but that actually
We
It's a
exists.
real thing now.
Yeah,
man.
in the future, we have caution signs for caution.
Him dragging the boulder across and fighting the boulder. This is kind of wacky and a low budget thing.
Him dancing on top of the thing and then falling down.
And when he goes to save the other Simpsons, and you who pointed it out, where the momentum of the rock like would have carried him across the street, and like he wouldn't be able to double back.
Forwards.
Yeah.
That's more a a logical flaw.
Yeah.
It's not wackiness.
No. All right. Well, let's talk about the heart. There's a bumps in this
It's
episode.
all hard, really. It's a man struggling to provide for his family, and in that failure feels he has no worth in this world anymore until he makes a stop sign. And we've all been there.
And then he finds his value as a safety inspector,
Yep.
and then as Poochie, and then as Smithers, and then as an ice cream
He's had a lot of
vendor.
jobs.
Yeah.
Let's not start that conversation.
Yeah, it started the foundation of the job that he'd avoid doing for the next 20 so years.
But it explains how they pay for some of the stuff. Not all the stuff, but some of
Yeah.
the stuff.
But talking about the heart, like it feels like it's trying to make you think that there's heart at the end when he takes the job back, but motherfucker sold out.
Is there supposed to be some sort of link between like he lost his job because he crashed the car, and then he found meaning in putting stop signs to stop other people crashing cars? Is there some? Sort
I'm
of...
going to say yes because it makes it better. I'm saying if something makes something more interesting, it's generally better to go with it than not. Because why not make something more
Why
interesting?
not? Yeah.
Hashtags.
This is from so
Black
far
Smithers.
before hashtags were invented.
This was when the hashtag was known as a pound sign.
And it made this noise. Dude. That was a really good harmony there.
Well, I know what the sound is. Black Smithers.
that was a minor second.
Yellow conspiracy. Wow, that sounds racist.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Oh, it sounds so racist.
No,
man.
I know. I'm sorry.
Homer jobs. Homer's other jobs.
Boulders.
Boulder gags, yeah.
Yeah.
Bouldergate.
I love a good bit of rock humor.
Dancing Homer.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's later. Yeah, true.
Well, that's it. There's an episode called Dancing Home.
Yeah. This is where we find out he is a fluid man.
That's it. And he dances on the fence.
Yep, like he does. No, yeah. I redact my objection.
All right. Let's award this thing. I'll kick it off.
Do it, man.
I'm gonna give it a participant.
Ooh.
Because
So you like this one better than the last one we saw?
but then the Futurama one.
Yeah?
I guess I do.
Well,
there you
look
go.
at
No,
that.
There you go.
it doesn't offend me as much as the Futurama episode does. Like,
You gotta be objective and impartial. You gotta say what episode is a better episode.
It's not about ranking. It's about
Exactly about ranking?
compartmentalizing.
That's the one. Thank you.
Well, yeah, but okay, there's reasons that the Futurama episode is better in that I think it had better jokes, yeah. But overall, it left me with a horrible bile in my stomach that, was unpleasant to reject from my system.
You gotta want to get that looked at.
Makes you an impartial judge.
When have I ever been impartial? I let my bias affect everything I do. No, because it's not a failure because it is an early episode and, he's still learning to walk and so you give it a little bit of credit for that, but ultimately there are so many better episodes in the first season, let alone, and I had somewhere to go, but I'm not going anywhere. Where do you rank it, Beach?
If I could split, I'd say Particibronze.
No splitting.
I know there's no splitting. I'm just trying to get a feel of where I really want to set it. I kind of want to bronze it because I feel like it is the foundation for better episodes.
Sure.
The things they do here, they do better later. This still feels like it's part of just building what the show was going to be. Again, it's the third episode. I don't think it deserves too much ire. But so yeah, I'm going to bronze it. Enjoy your shameful bronze.
What say you, Danny R?
I'm just being nicer to everything than you? And does that make me a worse critic or a better critic or just a different critic? I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm not being critical enough. Watching you guys rip things to shreds and then I'm just like, oh, I love this shit. Give it all gold stars. Everything. Everybody gets points. Everybody look at your chairs. You get points.
You get points.
Shit. Yeah, look, I didn't mind it. I thought it felt very Simpsons-y. It wasn't, amazing, but it didn't have big down points. It just was a bit miserable to watch. And
You didn't want to punch it in the face. So
But you didn't want to invite it back for a dinner.
if it came, I wouldn't mind. It's just be like, how are you getting home
you guys
tonight?
are being
Someone
like
else?
good shoulder, bad shoulder.
I am evil, Homer.
Bless you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 2 in a row.
Ah,
Wow.
wow. Are you sure? Will this change your opinion now we know you're allergic to this episode?
One more, I get a wish, man.
Is that how it works? Holy crap, I have so many banked up.
There you go. I don't think it had any specific bad points. It was a bit of a bummer watching Homer give up on life and try to kill himself. Sure. But as the first season is really, before it becomes a wacky sitcom comedy, before the comedy overwhelmed the situation in the sitcom, I think you need episodes that are sad as well as episodes that are happy, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, read a quote on the book I was reading on the way over here, and it was essentially, the line was something to the effect of, if you met someone who only ever remembered good things, you would assume they had brain damage.
A good
It was The Bird's Nest by Shirley Jackson. Her books are amazing. Go read them.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first product placement.
And
Name
it's a
drop.
book.
From a dead person.
Where's your medal? What's your medal?
Look, I kind of want to go Brilver.
Can't split it.
Damn it.
It's not how a compartment works. It's either in a compartment or in a different compartment.
Yeah.
I concur. I know it's difficult.
I'm going to go bronze because I want to save my silvers for things that deserve it more. You
And
know?
marriage.
Yeah.
For needier children.
Yeah.
Well, Silver's actually sort of thinking a weird
It's a
ranking.
tough one, isn't it?
It is.
People
Yeah.
either want to go harsher
True. I don't
or
think
go
I've,
better.
I don't think
And-
I've hit anything silver yet.
Okay, I think that about does it for this episode.
does.
Then one participant and 2 bronze. Next, Shag, you have picked the Max Power episode.
Max Power.
Another song we'll have stuck in our head.
Yeah. The
All
rest
right.
of this episode is just going to be us singing.
But you mustn't touch.
Oh man, come on, you didn't miss that part. It was the best. So this play had everything. I'm putting it right out there.
Oh my god, I love that episode so much.
It is a great one.
Yeah. So yeah, we're back. We've just watched the second episode for the evening, which was Homer to the
Episode
Mat.
for the evening. Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm wearing a new T-shirt. It's a new day.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely haven't. We've definitely left this couch at some point.
So that was Homer to the Max. It was season 10, episode something. The 13th episode of season 10. What'd you guys think?
Loved it, man.
Well, I liked it,
It was
Kent.
a barrel full of monkeys. Barrel full of laughs.
Would you watch it again?
Yes, I would, Kent.
Yeah, I will say I think it does dip at the end. I think it slows down at the end once they start heading to the tree thing, and it's sort of more exposition-y, but
It slows down, but it's still funny.
yeah.
Like, you still enjoy it. For those playing at home, this is the episode where Homer changes his name to Max Power.
Yeah. That's pretty much the synopsis of the
that's-
episode.
Yeah,
That's enough.
that's it.
And I like they got enough material out of that one bit.
Yeah, but like it does sort of have like the first act is all about the police cops show, and then the second one is about the second act is about the ramifications, and it's sort of more the third act that where Homer changes his name to Max Power, but it all sort of falls nicely into that.
First act, he's coasting off the high of someone else, of the other Homer.
Yep.
Second act, there's the sort of
Complication of the other Homer has changed into a
Yeah, they
idiot.
changed the pilot,
The
which I
monkey ball.
actually think was a good like maybe even a callback to how Homer Simpson, the character himself, changed over the course of The Simpsons. Like
Yeah.
See, in the first season, he was more like a dad trying to have a good family. He wasn't so much an ignoramus, but like he did become
To
a
be
bumbling
ignoramus
fool.
that you keep calling that means I'm an idiot, isn't it?
Sexy millionaire with all the babes might be overshooting it a little.
Yeah, but no,
Oh, sure, but I mean,
appreciate
all
that it's
metaphors
a-
are exaggerated versions of the truth.
wow. Look who went to film school for an hour.
And by film school, you
YouTube.
mean watching the,
I mean YouTube.
watching the
Paint dry on your wall.
You just watched every frame of painting.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a student of YouTube.
Yeah, aren't we all, man?
Yeah, but in saying that,
Please carry on.
You know you can't make that expression on a podcast.
Oh,
He made the "you guys talk for me" face.
yeah, it was clearly, I got nothing. Help me
I
out.
liked it. I have nothing to say when I like things, which I understand. I have that problem.
no, I'm pretty much just like that whole episode. I was a circus seal, just.
Yeah. Yeah.
More fish, please.
All right, Elliot.
Homer swinging the trout at the end. You're right. That should be a shirt. Woo, privilege! And he's swinging a trout.
I'm just a middle class Western white guy. I feel like the shirt "woo privilege" just
Yeah.
applies to me. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess this wasn't like a story, like a great story episode, as much as it was just an awesome joke episode.
Yeah.
It was exploring an idea and having fun with it.
Yeah. But I think that works. I didn't even really think about it until I said it just then. But literally, the entire episode is Homer changes his name to Max Bell.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. But they get so much ground out of it. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And yeah, and the beginning, the police cop stuff, and the cactuses. And
So many cactuses, man.
no
No B story. Did you notice there was no B story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid A story. Oh, we haven't really talked about that much, the A's and the B's. Oh well.
We've talked about. We've covered all the ground, even if we didn't specifically separate it into saying A and
I
B.
know, but it makes it sound so much smarter when we do.
It does,
Oh,
but
well.
shut up. Besides, the last one didn't. None of them have had A and B stories this session.
No, not really.
The closest we
true.
got to a B session is in the
Futurama,
Futurama.
No.
Bender and Maggie is the closest we got to
Yeah.
it. That was a scene. There wasn't anyone in, Homer nearly kills himself, because it was all about Homer nearly killing himself.
Yeah.
This one's
Yeah,
all
and
Yeah.
then Homer at the bat, it was just a through line with the
Hey.
softball. And
Yeah. No B
What was
side.
the other one we watched from that?
it's a different session.
Yeah, I know.
Daniel.
Yeah, that was cough cough yesterday, cough cough.
Cough.
Oh yeah, that was all the way yesterday.
When I
ago.
push down on your foot and knock, you say that was yesterday.
Oh, again.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, so it's only natural we can't remember what episodes we watched yesterday.
Yep, sure, Mr. Thompson.
This one, it's just wall-to-wall jokes, and I think they all work really well. And
Yeah, it's all really
great how well it all rolls and
I've
flows
had-
together beautifully.
And yeah, from it, I've had so many quotable moments over the years. Ty
Ty Good, you like shirt.
oh classic.
Can't stop quoting that one.
Yeah.
It's infinitely funny. To
I can't
me.
do it anytime someone talks about Thai food.
Yeah.
If there was a restaurant
you want to get
called-
Thai, and I'm like, Thai good, you like shirt?
If there was a
Like,
Thai
it's-
restaurant called Thai Good, you like shirt,
Yeah,
we would
yeah.
be broadcasting from
Thai
there.
restaurants, man, all about the pun names.
I know. So why there?
Absolutely, around
Every
here
time I
got-
have a customer come in with a cool name, I'm like, he got it off a hairdryer.
Oh yeah, just Homer trying to impress the elite. Oh, there's so much good that comes out of that. And, actually, another moment that I didn't notice on my first watch through of this episode was, it's Woody Harrelson. His pants are entirely made out of hemp, and it's just marijuana leaves.
How did you not get that? Were you too stoned?
Or were you like 8 years old? This is an old episode.
Yeah.
what would
This
you-
episode first aired in February 7th, 1999, so it probably hit our shores in 2000.
You
I'm
would've
like
been
14.
700. No, wait, hang on. You'd been about 14.
Yeah. Not quite 700
about
yet.
I was about 700. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot of things.
Well, yeah, the one thing about Shag is he's got that Benjamin Button disease, and he started from 1,000, and he's also got that Jack disease, so he
Wow.
unages like 20 years for every year.
Wow, good combo of diseases. Wow. He's also got the phenomenon disease where he just gets smarter.
Oh, that's convenient.
All right, yeah, that's good for the general talk.
Way to wrangle us off there, Chief.
Every good host knows how to wrangle his
Transitions.
guests.
Well,
Talking your history with the episode. Oh, that could have segued perfectly if I what's the word? Segued properly. What did you think then, Beach?
That
Back in the year 2000.
wow, so long.
You think
ago.
Linkin Park were cool?
No, I never liked Linkin Park. So I was fine with that. I was already too busy being a classic rock dick bag about things.
I wasn't classic back then. It was just rock.
No, I was as in like, oh, you like Linkin Park, well, I like Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
Yeah, remember when classic hits were just hits? I'm sure I'm stealing that.
I like it though. I'm stealing it. So.
Feel free to use that at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
What'd you think then?
Then I'm trying to remember. I just think I enjoyed it. It was funny. I think everyone at school next, or if I was still was going Max Power and Hootie McDowell.
No, it was Hootie McBoob.
Hootie McBoob.
And Chesty LaRue.
Bussy Sinclair.
Bussy Sinclair. Oh, I don't know which one's my favorite. I think Hootie McBoob.
Because it's so direct.
Yeah. Let go of those.
What about the tattoo on my you-know-what?
The
Oh my
implications of
gosh.
that. Yeah, it's on her vagina, right?
There's no question. They would have said butt, or they literally say
Yeah.
boob later in the episode. Where else could it possibly be that you don't mention? I mean, admittedly, Marge wouldn't say
Marge
butt.
wouldn't say butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Or ass,
So,
or
or boob.
bum, or...
You know.
Because she said let go of those. She didn't say let go of my Hootie McBoobs.
The only other option.
Fellas, marry a woman who calls them her Hootie McBoobs.
Oh, yeah, I want to see those Hootie McBoobs.
Yeah, okay, we wear our woo privilege t-shirts, go to a strip club and ask to see some Hootie McBoobs. On that bus,
get your dollars ready now to the stage.
Hootie McBoobs.
No. Now to the stage is Busty Sinclair with the oversized Hootie McBoobs.
So what did you think then, Chad? Do you remember watching this episode for the first time at all?
I spent more time giggling than really paying attention to it, I think.
Sure.
Like the tattoo thing went straight over my head. I gotta say, a bunch of the quotes I probably used without really thinking too much about
Where they came from.
where they came from.
episode,
Yeah.
Oh, SpaghettiOs. And...
Oh
so
God,
many
I hate
SpaghettiOs.
that line,
I
but
know,
I
it's
keep
all
using
really-
it. It's horrible.
It's terrible, but it's meant to be terrible.
Well, actually, that's sort of
And that's the end of that.
that chapter.
Yeah.
Where I start with the
Come
episode
on, Elliot.
because
You're gonna tell me that that was your Shakespeare? Uh-oh,
It was.
SpaghettiOs.
I in high school had to deliver a monologue, and it was just simply SpaghettiOs, and you know.
Mic drop.
You got that lighter?
You want to immolate out of here?
Yeah, please.
There's no exit like an immolation.
I'm sure you...
No, my experience with this episode with Hi Out There, Lydia, Nicole, and Sarah, who quoted SpaghettiOs to no end, and I didn't know where it came from, and like they were quoting it for like a week. There's a high school girls on here, and
About to say, are you quoting people I'm supposed to know?
no, they're not famous
Continue.
yet, but thanks to my podcast, they're going all the way to the top.
To the top.
They quoted SpaghettiOs endlessly, and eventually I was just like, where's this from? And they're like, The Simpsons. And I'm like,
How do you
I'm
not
a
know
Simpsons fan, and I do not know this. And yeah, around this
Impossible.
time, I'm like, Mom, we need Foxtel.
Simpsons
sidebar. I'm pretty sure SpaghettiOs is a SpaghettiOs ad. That
Yeah,
they're
no,
using
it
here,
is.
and they're
Oh,
using
is it?
Yeah,
SpaghettiOs
it's
isn't an
literally-
Australian brand though, so we haven't got that advertising here.
Yeah,
Sure.
Everyone would know it from the episode rather than from the advertisement for SpaghettiOs.
Isn't it amazing how many American ads we know because of The Simpsons?
Oh,
Like,
man.
Hot dogs.
Armour
hot dogs.
Yeah, we could do the whole thing, but
What
we're not going
kind
to.
of
We're not
pizza
going
are
to. But we're on a time limit, apparently. What do
Apparently.
you think of this episode now?
Still great fun. Like it's a very there's not a lot of plot, but who cares? Because I think that's the reason why I don't remember it
it's not
terribly
a
well.
plot heavy.
There's nothing you remember plot wise, but it's just fun as hell. And
That's
it's
it. I
hilarious.
remember the gags. I probably, without watching this, I wouldn't have been able to tell you which a lot of the gags came from. You know which episode.
Yeah.
And another Swartzwelder one where it's great, like callbacks to just a second ago jokes
man,
and like
yeah.
a run
The
of cactus
throwback
jokes.
to- What was the girl's name? Denise.
Debbie
Pinson.
Debbie Pinson.
She actually comes up a lot
Yeah,
throughout
she
the
comes up
series,
again, I
which is
remember.
weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like a guy
Glad I
in
recorded
Schwartzberg's, or a girl in Schwartzberg's like early prom.
He's
that-
like, she rejected me, but now I'll make her the idol of Simpsons.
yeah, the one that got away, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, poor Swartzwelder. Speaking of which, you guys really need to read The Time Machine Did It. That is such a good book.
Yeah.
And it's only short. It's like that thick.
I'll do it this afternoon.
Shut up. Has this episode been revisited much?
It comes up every now and then. It's always great. Like, oh wait, it's this one.
Could you put a time watch counter on it?
No.
3:47 p.m. Wait, how?
No,
how
I mean
much-
like play count. Like how many times do you reckon you've
play
seen
count.
I'm pretty sure I counted about 3 watches in that episode.
it? Yeah.
Nice. He
was
is
a
counting
joke.
the watches in that episode.
was
He's
in
watch counting.
I'm
Count
fucking
watches.
with you.
Watch count.
Tons.
Bam.
It's
got
called
you.
wordplay.
He got you, yo. Bam. Boom. Mic drop.
I've just been word
I mean, I'm not
played.
going to drop them because
Don't do it.
They
These
look,
are microphones.
They look expensive.
Yeah.
Were they Shag?
All 3 of these are different microphones with different price tags on them.
Yeah, I think I did that because I was too cheap to buy 4 of those.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at the good mic.
Which I'm holding, which I will not drop.
Would you watch this episode again?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a barrel of laughs.
Resounding. Do you recommend other people watch this episode?
God,
would-
no.
Yes, I do, Kent.
I recognize they hypnotize themselves in their basement and stay there for 6 months. When they come out, they film their own copy of the episode and post it on YouTube. It's more likely to make money, less likely to get laughs.
Actually, if someone did a shot-for-shot remake of this episode, that would get a lot of YouTube hits.
Yeah, especially the bit where Homer Simpson catches the character Homer Simpson catches the bullet and throws it in the dude's chest.
Which character, Homer Simpson?
The meta character.
The meta Simpson. The first one, the suave. What fucking hell?
argue about
So
that.
is
Let's
this
not,
like?
let's not.
So we haven't actually had a lot of recommendations this one. Like, so let's get into recommendation specifics. Is this one for newcomers?
No. It's very funny. They would enjoy it a lot.
But I feel you need a little more grounding, yeah.
Yeah. I feel you'd walk out a little confused about who the Simpsons are, what the series is about, why am I watching this? It's like if I sit down in the middle of...
You'd be like, her name's not Chesty LaRue?
No, but just on that point, like Mr. Burns, he immediately acts really humble towards Homer when he finds out his name is Max.
Yeah.
You need that
Power.
background of him never remembering Homer's name.
Yeah.
Or never acting contrite to anyone. Is that the right
Yeah.
word?
The background of Homer always being the mindless drone in Sector 7G, the
Yeah.
fumbling boob in Sector 7G,
But yeah,
Smithers, who is that man?
the walking organ bank in Section 7G.
so, so this is one for established fans, and
Yeah.
you know, watch this one again. This
No,
one's
it's one of those ones
fantastic,
where if you
man.
found out someone who liked The Simpsons hadn't seen it,
Yeah.
you'd be like, how? And come to my place, we're going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think of it as like a hidden gem. Like
maybe after that
when
we-
you think, what are the best episodes of The Simpsons? I'm in the mood to watch the best of The Simpsons. I'm not going to think of this episode. I'm going to think of...
maybe we should think more highly of it.
well, that's it, man. That's it.
Sure. Well, it's definitely the best of the mid run. That's what I'm calling the mid run in my little weird system, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's tough. I mean, we don't even know where the mid is yet because it hasn't finished.
Yeah. Like the Simpsons mantra is
Well, I
we're
like
only
that.
halfway there. Like at every time they've had a public event where it's been like the 200th episode, the 400th
We're
episode.
halfway there.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just a funny mantra for the
Yeah.
show.
I mean, if someone hasn't seen this one, you would say, come around, we will watch it, and then we'll smooch up a storm. I just want to bring that into vernacular. Smooch up a storm.
All right. So, was there anything in this one that sort of flew over your head in maybe the first couple of viewings, or? Sorry. My play count's around 15 because I'm stupid obsessed with the show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I would say like I not this viewing, but previous ones. I didn't get the line. I thought I knew all the players in Springfield. Where have you been hiding? Well, I spent a lot of time on the couch, and that being a reference to like a psychiatrist couch.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
is that
yeah.
what it?
That's what
oh.
everyone else thinks he's saying. He's obviously meaning the literal couch.
I thought it was just a flat joke. Oh wow, that's deep.
No. I think my dad pointed that out to me. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Actually, you know what? I only
Thank you,
realized
Papa.
last night as I was rewatching some Futurama. Icy Wiener. I thought that was just a terrible, double entendre. It turns out it's a triple entendre.
Yeah, because cold, icy.
Yeah, because Fry freezes and he turns into an icy wiener.
Triple entendre.
Yep, just like the Rush album cover for Moving Pictures.
Yep. There's not many out there, but they're out there.
Moving Pictures is a great album. Watch out for my Rush podcast.
Rush Index.
Does it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yep. All over.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, comment on the wackiness.
I'd call it a low to mid range wackiness. It's not. It gets wackier, but it's the central core of it is the name change.
It's an absurd idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
They treat it fairly down to earth. Not entirely. I mean, like them running whoop, 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 Three Stooges
Yeah.
around the tree and
That's the
chopping it
wackiest
down,
part.
and then
Yeah.
every tree falls down.
Domino
Every
effect,
tree falls
which
down.
doesn't work for physics.
No, but it's a great gag to get there with the chain
Yeah.
and the getting
Sure.
it. Like it's
Swab of
But
face.
that's the thing. It's a wacky, absurd gag. It's not, down to earth realism exactly. But apart from that,
Apart from that, like
it's conceivable within the
Yeah.
constraints of this slightly silly.
TV show has the same name as someone that someone feels then pressured to change their own name. I guarantee you it's happened.
Oh man,
I'm
for
sure
real.
this show ruined the lives of many Bart Simpsons and Homer Simpsons.
Yeah, solid point.
Yeah, I mean, you guys only know me after I changed my name from James Bond.
I was gonna make a case that like the same plot line could have happened in that '70s show, or in How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah.
or in
Sure.
Roseanne,
Literally anything else.
and that's fine.
The outcome
But
would have been
you're
different.
Totally right. In real life, I bet there is someone called Roseanne Barr. Or
It was just like,
Rose-
nope, had it up for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
200
The other
billion
Jerry
chicken.
Seinfeld of the world.
Damn it, I'm a thin white male. Why am I being compared to an overweight woman that fucked Tom Arnold?
Thin white male called Roseanne?
Why not?
Yeah, it's short
Hey.
for.
Nope.
Rosanna? Oh.
Nope, gets worse.
Rose Andrew.
Roseandrew. Of course.
Your name was Rose Andrew, you would
Rose
want to
Andrew.
change it immediately to Trent Steele.
Oh, and I love that. I'm going to give you the only name you spelled correctly.
What was
Oh,
his
and
other
for
name?
another one, just pointing out that was inconsistency with Judge Snyder. He is typically one of Simpsons' dark-skinned residents, and in this
poor
one they
man.
fucked up the coloring
Yeah.
and made him
he's-
white. He is just typically dark-skinned.
No, that's true. He's one of the
Just
few we
saying,
can
if
see.
there's any
Elliot,
fuck-ups to
Elliot.
take from this episode.
Clearly, struck the same bone twice, producing two different
No, no,
bitches.
Does anyone
care what this guy thinks?
Well, you do know a wizard did it.
Wizard did it. But what about if...
Wizard.
That was nice. All right, it's hot. Not a lot of heart in this episode, but
It's all laughs. Like, that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
super gaggy. Any more influence quotable moments? Max Power got it from a hairdryer.
Yeah, Tiger Lily shirts.
This smells like mint.
Shirts.
Yeah,
Oh,
spit my gum.
Oh my god. I had forgotten how amazing that bit was.
Yeah.
it's
and that was
still good.
followed straight after by
Bam, bagity, bam, bam, bam. Immediately
another
followed by
funny beach.
Trent Steele. He's Max Power's oldest and dearest friend. That's literally the line after. So it is.
Oh, and
Sorry, I don't like this Trent Steele. Where did you find him? At Moe's? No. Was it? There's a line. I can't remember it.
doesn't matter. We'll move on.
And typically,
Will we?
you only get initials monogrammed. No, Max Power doesn't. Each letter is more important than the last. Or as important. More important. Let's award this. Eeny, meeny, miny, shag.
Miney Shag.
Ooh,
Mighty Shag.
this is a tough one.
It is. It is.
It's not cubic zirconia because
No.
there are special episodes out there. There are ones that are worthy
That
of
are
praise more than all others.
Flawlessly structured and packed with jokes. This is the cubic zirconia standard. I am stuck between gold and silver at this point. So.
Yeah, gold and
Wow.
silver. I would say silver because
Whoa.
very funny, but with basically no plot.
Can I go next then?
Because
I'm giving it a gold because it was almost a cubic zirconia, but I didn't think the story was strong enough.
that's just what I
Yeah,
said. It
but
was
he
funny, no storyline.
What about you, Beach?
Never make me the deciding vote. Fuck you.
You don't have to be a deciding vote. It's just an
I know.
opinion.
It's 3 separate opinions. Every one of us is the deciding vote.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I am gonna gold it. Actually, I feel like I know it doesn't have a plot, but it's
You
just
guys are both wrong.
it's so.
So we didn't convince you to up your vote to a gold?
It's tough. I'm a Gasilva, but
Wow, I was a
I'm gonna gold just because it's just so quintessential to the dialogue. If you're talking Simpsons, you know, in the future when all language is dead except for Simpsons quotes, this is gonna be part.
Yeah, this
you
takes
won't.
up a whole chapter in
Yeah.
the quote book, doesn't it?
Exactly. This is you're not gonna be able to ask where the bus stop is unless you know what this one.
But does that make it a good episode, or does that just make it an episode?
It
with
makes
a lot of
it
gags?
it makes it a lot episode, a lot of gags, but that you could not have reached if you weren't the Simpsons. It's not what the foundation. It's not what you build to get there, but it's what you do when you're standing on top of the mountain and invincible. You make something like this because it's
Yeah, fair enough. And maybe it was like
I've
one of the
convinced
more
myself.
reaction to Family Guy episodes because there's a definite shift in The Simpsons around this era where Family
Yeah.
Guy was really picking up steam in the US and like Simpsons sort of copied a couple of elements.
they did.
And like not saying that that's exactly what they were doing. Maybe it was just sort of the culture of TV at the time, but it is more gag heavy and less story heavy, and that sort of Family Guys.
This is the time where those
deal.
gags land, and they
Yeah.
land really. There's a point where they go for gag heavy and they don't land,
Mm.
and that's gonna be again. I mean, I almost wanted to silver it because we have so few silver participants. I think it is a very hard point to land.
Yeah. And I even like give it even more points for just being probably the in the upper echelon of the
Yeah. Again-
season 10 episodes.
As this goes on, I may revisit this with an opinion of shifting it down to silver, but for the moment, I feel gold feels good.
Yeah, Shag sticking with silver.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I'm right to do it. You guys are both completely deluded. I mean, it's not just how many quick, cheap one-liners you can stuff into a show that makes it worthwhile. It's, is it good as a show? Does it have a good storyline? It's cohesive. Is it...
Sure.
That's fair, but I also maintain that you have to build that to get here.
So you mean the
So
first
that's
9
actually an
seasons,
argument for
they
silver.
got their storyline over with, so now they can just sit back and just make cheap gags.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point where if you've got a show that will reset at the end of every episode and not have an ongoing storyline,
Yep.
that what you want is a funny as hell, punchy episode, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
You've built the castle, and this is where you live now.
going to have to agree to disagree
I don't agree with that.
That's right, Ken. All right. Well, we are done with the second decade portion of this show, and we're about to head into the third, the 20 season plus episode. What did you end up deciding what you wanted to pick, or
Let's
do you
go
want
with
to go
my
random?
Band-Aid. Let's go with the fucking terrible, awful. I hate it already. Stupid.
You want me to
Simpsons
pick
in
a bad episode?
No, I want the Simpsons in Italy. I want the one I hate the most.
No, that's second decade.
Oh, I'm on
dude.
the wrong decade.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got 3 decades.
Well, shut
third
your
decade.
mouth. I'm going to go with that other one I said earlier that I've forgotten now.
500 keys.
Yes.
Done.
If you say so.
All right, it'll be 500 keys, and
That's the end of that
3, 2, 1,
chapter.
cut.
that's the end of that.
Why do you have a Khal Drogo doll? And why is it molesting
Slimer. Anyway, is anyone else paying or?
Hey, by the way, we are recording. This is all live.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun to.
That was not a good idea. Hey, everyone at home, listen to me getting another beer.
Oh, can you get me another beer?
That was a good idea. Shad?
No. Just record the sound of getting me another beer.
Wait, is that a yes or no? Okay. Do you want a rabbit or a cricket?
The one you get.
Hear that?
That's the sound of Beach getting a rabbit.
Yeah, that's what it would sound like if he was getting me a beer.
Thank you for the beer.
It's
We just watched the 21st episode of the 22nd season of The Simpsons, called 500 Keys. Overall, it was the 485th episode, so the 500 wasn't really a reference to that, was it?
I kind of feel like it's a reference to something I don't understand. So,
Well,
well, the fact they have a bunch of keys.
Anyway, just to kick it off, this is one of, and I'm glad you remembered this one, Beej, as one of the few episodes of the post-20 season that you've watched, because I love this episode. It's maybe my favorite of the post-20 era.
Wow.
I know, big call for so many dumpster fires of episodes.
I've got to say, I can't think of a better one from the post-20 era.
How many have you watched?
Well,
Once that you've done for this
yeah.
project, yeah.
So far, 3.
Yeah, and, you know, we've watched a lot of only A stories tonight, and this was one where it was an
That had-
ABCD story.
Yeah, which is cool.
which all came
to
together
to
somewhat
surmise
at the end.
quickly, the Simpsons discover a bunch of old keys they have in their house, and hilarity ensues.
Ah, yep, that's it. That's about it.
Yeah, everyone has their own story. Bart has a story with the him trying to cause mischief and
Only causing good.
only causing
We've all
good
been
things.
there.
Yep.
Homer has his story with
Duff Blimp.
Duff Blimp. Marge and Maggie get combined into one person again with the Pootatoot Express.
Yes.
Which I think is the reason why you remembered this
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
entirely.
People might be offended by its mild tastelessness.
And then the main story of Lisa discovering the key that leads to the faked classroom of Springfield Elementary. Anyway, kicking off the general conversation. Guys, what'd you think?
Yeah, you know what? It's still fun. It's still funny. It's got some cringeworthy, that's bad moments. But ultimately, I still had fun. That's why I remember it fondly and revisiting it. Yeah, still, I laughed.
Yeah, well,
I
how
had
about
laughs.
you, Shag? Do you think you've seen this one before, or
I definitely haven't seen it before.
what'd you think?
It was a good episode for its time. You know, like it was funny. I mean, all the gags were pretty funny. It was fast paced enough, and it jumped back and forth between several different timelines enough that you didn't feel the lapse in pace between places. I quite liked the sort of the 50s nuclear explosion homes vibe of the mystery classroom. Is that the
Yeah.
word?
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
the,
sure.
The test bombing houses.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
The indie fridge houses.
It was explained a bit weak, like, oh, we had this money, but I left it in my pocket, and then we washed the pocket.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, I thought the
come
ending
on.
was the weakest part, especially just to rip it off. The epilogue was completely unnecessary. Like, where like at the end they tell Otto, "Oh, you weren't the murderer of 24 children," which is
That
kind of
implies
dark
the
in
entire
itself.
time he thought he was.
Yeah,
And continued driving buses anyway.
maybe explains his
But
drug
he
use.
didn't do anything different either way. Like, either it was manslaughter either way, or it was, you know what, this is philosophy, this isn't Simpsons.
Is there a difference? Did Plato not write The Republic de Simpsons?
Damn, I think you've got me. Yeah.
Because remember, the Simpsons are being used to explain politics on Facebook.
No, I do have a book
Liberals
on
versus-
philosophy and Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, send it this
But it's
way.
way too heavy for tonight's discussion.
No, that's a big discussion. But
Yeah,
let's face it, there's enough examples out there to say, yeah.
yeah.
Because the whole Bart is id and Lisa is...
We'll
yeah,
get
no,
back to this
another
one.
time.
We'll get back to this one.
Yeah, and actually, like, through the main classic run, you didn't see the few episodes of Simpsons where they did multiple storylines, maybe even like Seinfeld-esque, where, A, B, C, and D plot
Joined back together,
all
probably.
dovetailing together. Like, it wasn't a smooth bringing together of the plots, and the Pootatoot Express
can only
knocking
think
down
of,
the tree
Yeah,
that
it
saves
felt a bit forced, didn't it?
Little
Homer
bit.
and Lisa, who were pretty close to shore anyway.
Wasn't exactly a dangerous situation.
No.
In a time where they've got all the graphics and they've run out of
Can
ideas.
you rephrase that as like a movie trailer?
In a time,
They run out of graphics. There were a lot of ideas.
they came up with
episode.
500 keys. It doesn't get much better than this. Really, it doesn't.
It really kind of doesn't.
Yeah. No, look, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't as clever as the last couple of times they'd done the multiple storyline thing. It did feel a bit like they were forcing a neat wrap up.
Yep.
I think the jokes were good through this episode. I was enjoying it. You know, I didn't feel. There have been plenty of episodes where I'm sort of like watching the clock, waiting to get to the end of this thing.
Especially in post 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
for real, man.
Post 20 is a dangerous playground.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this one for a post 20 is pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not one that I'm going to skip when I'm hungover and it's on. Anything else generally you guys want to mention about the episode? Bart storyline and...
I like that Bart couldn't cause trouble. That's a kind of a fun one.
Yeah, he opens up the mail and everyone's like, oh, thank God.
I was looking forward to it. Thank you, small, tiny angel.
I think we all cringed at the Umbry Joe.
I don't even remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want some more chocolate milk, Umbry
maybe
Joe?
You can cut the umbilical cord. Oh.
Yeah, which makes it a high point of the episode because that's exactly what they were going for.
Yeah.
So,
that feels like an intern
points
to
to
write the
them.
goddamn joke.
But yeah, any other quotable moments? Like, I love the, Fly the Blimp, but what's it like? Blimp Assassin 3. We are Xbox. Xbox. Original of 360. Fly the blimp, you spoiled kid.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I still love people. Someone might be Pootatoot, come back. Someone might be offended by your mild tastelessness.
Yeah.
Mild tastelessness is just great.
Nelson saying, "What is it just gonna be like yesterday or the day before that,
or the day before that, or the day before that?"
Nelson, either tell them what's on the lunch menu or get off it.
Sloppy Joes, and the day before that, tater tots, and the day before that.
Right.
I've often heard that in my own head. when just
I can understand
going about
that.
life.
And I like Flanders and Rod and Todd. And Dad, was that you making those ghastly
it
noises?
was the train. I swear.
Lies
Devil's-
make baby Jesus cry blood. Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It used to be lies make baby Jesus cry.
yeah.
This one was lies make baby Jesus weep blood. It's like, wow, that escalated quickly.
What was it? The Devil's Trumpets or something?
Yep.
Can we start calling farts that, please?
The Devil's Serenade.
Well, either that or I'm going to say, God, I'm riding the Pootatoot Express again.
I had Indian last night, and today I'm playing nothing but the Symphony for the Devil.
Nice.
Pleased to meet you.
Just
Nice.
high-fiving a million angels.
Yeah.
I hope you guessed my name. Oh, that's not Symphony.
Yeah.
God, I'm misquoting Guns N' Roses.
Oh, fuck, I'll kick you.
All right, come on.
With
get
all
on
the
with it.
feet.
What's the next question?
The next question is, let's start the questionnaire. Shall we?
We
I
shall.
feel like we're at the end of the questionnaire.
We should have started that.
Talking the history with the episode, I guess I can skip you, Shag. This is a Taco Tuesday favorite. What do you remember then?
I remember tacos mostly.
I see.
For those playing at home, Elliot and I used to live together. We used to have Taco Tuesdays where we'd watch recent episodes of these kind of things. And it was just one that stuck out of my mind as being pretty damn good. I mean, a lot of the Simpsons stuff would be like, whatever. I'm going to go get more tacos. Do you want to hit pause? No. Whereas this was one that's like, I'm going to wait until this episode is over, then I'm going to get more tacos.
Yeah, it was a weird tradition
High
where we'd
praise.
watch the new episodes of Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, and Bob's Burgers.
Around there. Yeah.
Yeah,
If it
and it was like fully paying attention for Bob's Burgers, and then like American Dad was still good around
on
then
and
as
off.
well.
Yeah. Hit and
And then
miss.
like eventually we cut off Family Guy because
Yeah. And then Simpsons would be very hit and miss. We'd had a few drinks, but
I
This
mean
was
it was
one that-
Taco Tuesday.
yeah, it was one that stood out then, and that's why I picked it now. And yeah, I think it still holds up pretty well. The things I liked, I still like. So
Well, in the terms of holding up, what do you reckon, Shag? Is this this episode is actually 6 years old now, believe it or not. Like, I mean,
I actually don't
not
believe that.
6,
I don't believe that.
5.
Still don't believe it. It wasn't that long ago that we lived in the same house.
Oh yeah, but
Nope, sorry, don't believe it.
again,
Nope.
Shag, what do you think of it now?
Well, I think looking at it now, I can say it's a fun episode of The Simpsons as it is now. It's fast paced. It's a bit like attention deficit. Sporadic.
Got a bit of that sort of Family Guy
bit
influence
flaky.
in it.
Definitely got a Family Guy influence in it. I'd say compared to seasons 1 to 4, totally different show. Might as well have totally different characters. Compared to seasons like 4 to 20, it's like a mediocre version of the same episode. But you know, I can see a link between them all. It's just, I don't know, man. It feels like The Simpsons you watch when you can't be bothered paying attention to The Simpsons.
Sure, the Hangover marathon episodes
Yeah.
Yeah.
that don't make your hangover worse. Fortunately,
That's it. You don't have to like look at the screen with. You don't have to focus your eyes.
You don't really
Leave
have to
it
pay
blurry in the
attention.
background. No one's gonna. It's not gonna matter.
You could tune in halfway through and still get a chuckle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talking my history with the episode, this is one that I've probably seen about 6 or 7 times because when I first discovered, totally legally downloading things without
totally.
any,
Without
criminal
any-
implications.
Any Easy TV or Pirate Bay.
Because I respect the Fox Corporation and I want to make sure that...
And
Whoa, come on, man.
And they've made their content readily available through legitimate sources
Oh.
on the internet where we can download without any problems and within the speed and...
especially in Australia.
especially in Australia, where we have the best broadband
Guys.
conceivable.
Guys,
I've never
there's-
lied more in my life.
Plausible deniability is one thing.
Asterisk.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real.
assume everything I just said had like 8 asterisks behind it.
But,
And a couple of obliques.
look,
Dum-dumps.
anyway, look, I liked assembling...
Set yourself a fire beach.
8
Yes, ma'am.
gigabyte USBs full of shows that I just sort of chuck on the TV, put on the background while I was... Please set you.
Third time.
Anyway, I used to love back in a couple of years ago putting USB compilations together and, lots of Office, lots of Parks and Rec, lots of...
Yeah. Shit to chill out to.
burgers. Yeah. Just, shit to chuck on in the background when you're in a share house and hanging out with a few peeps. And, this is one that I felt like I put on probably more than the other later episodes of The Simpsons. There were a few episodes that I really latched onto, and this was definitely one of them. But that leads me to the next question. Would you put this on a USB mix again?
Yeah, I would. That sounds like the weirdest.
Yes, I would, Ken.
Yes, I would. Ken. If I was making a complex compilation CD for a woman that I had a crush on, would I put it down?
And she had irritable bowel syndrome.
Well, then obviously not. She might be offended by its mild tastelessness.
I've never felt so irritable.
You probably have irritable bowel syndrome.
Jack, your opinion.
I don't know if it's the sort of thing that I'd go out of my way to watch. Like, I'd suddenly get the urge to watch this one again. But I think I'd enjoy watching it if it was on, Because that's it. It is a bunch of funny gags, and it's well-paced, and it's strung together pretty quickly. I think it's going to be fun when it's on, but it hasn't got that sort of standout story or plot or any specific thing to it. So it's not something that I'm going to remember anything about particularly or say, oh man, I want to watch the one where blank happens.
Fair enough.
It's just a bunch of funny gags.
Sure.
They could have just as well have happened in any other story. Like almost any other story could have squeezed those gags in somewhere in The Simpsons somewhere.
Because you're what we were saying before about the ending not being tight and well wrapped up is that it isn't a satisfying ending. It's
But it happens
just,
so quick.
Yeah.
Barely care. You don't have a moment to tell it to fuck itself before it's gone.
Yeah.
Man, it was a fun ride, but I'll wait until it turns up again randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Maybe you're watching TV, Simpsons comes on, and it's like, oh, it's a post-20s. Which one is? Oh, no, this is a case one. This is okay. No, stick around, friend that I'm with at the time. Maybe a partner or a lover or a.
I haven't. After you said the word friend, I didn't know any of those.
Or a
words.
half-eaten box of chocolate.
So
Garbage bag full of popcorn. Stick around.
so
Re-microwave day old pizza.
recommending others watch it. Okay, so I guess in the context that you'd recommend is like
Newcomers, you wouldn't.
no, not
Yeah.
newcomers.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
like
not going to win them over to the series as a
no,
whole.
but like okay. I think the only situation where you'd recommend other people watch it is like there's a person that's saying The Simpsons never had a good episode after season whatever.
X 20
XX.
plus, yeah. And you'd be like,
That's
ha,
funny.
check out this.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, that pooter toot though. That pooter toot though.
oh, guys,
He's bringing that one in.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey. That pooter toot though.
contemporary references. We're dropping them here. Dropping them like it's hot.
Yeah.
We're culturally irrelevant now.
Hot like that pooter toot.
Oh.
Sorry.
That toot though.
I feel bad about. Hey, you joined the gang.
That
I was about to
toot.
feel bad about leaving you alone, but you came on board. It's fun, isn't it?
There was some fun blimp action, though. That blimp.
I'm all about the blimp action.
Yeah, a good Hindenburg reference. What am I doing?
I don't even know anymore.
Chuck, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons to you?
No.
What?
No.
It felt like a late episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk about what The Simpsons feels like when you talk about an episode of something, then I'm agree. Absolutely, no, it doesn't. Does it feel like 20 plus Simpsons? Sure. It's just...
If someone says, "What does The Simpsons feel like?" It's not what you think of. This is like, by the end of it, it's not that it was parodying itself. It's that it exaggerated its features so much it didn't seem like the same thing anymore.
She's saying it's
you know,
caricature of what it was.
it is. It's
I
faster
agree.
paced. It's using cheaper gags.
And it's more exaggerated in all its...
Hey,
is.
everyone loves Doom buggies.
For real.
Everyone loves roller skates.
It was fun.
Dude,
It was
like, right.
recognizable. It was fast. It was silly, but it didn't have what any of the first even 15 seasons would have had. Which is, first off, a solid storyline that seemed like the heart. It was about the story. It had gags the way through. Whereas this is story's an excuse for gags, right? Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, absolutely, because like the story didn't actually kick off until the second act. You know, the first one was just mostly about the wedding cake and getting there. Oh, that was another good quotable moment.
I was about to say...
Dad, the cake. Dad, our lives. And that
Cake
was
our
such a
life.
good Homer like thing. And
Cake or death.
the gag of the band books, and then the band books.
Oh yeah, that was solid. That
I
was
killed you. I was watching
solid
you.
gag.
Yeah, I do love that.
Great guy. Alright, so it doesn't super feel like a Simpsons to you guys. I think it, like, maybe it's more, to me, like, it's not a typical Simpsons structure, but I think they do nail the Simpsons doing the 4 storylines at once, dovetailing into each other. Even though it's not a super satisfying ending, I think...
trope though.
Yeah, it's more Seinfeldian.
Seinfeld did it so seamlessly. That's
Yeah.
what makes it such an amazing show to rewatch.
Yeah, and Seinfeld do that dovetailing way
Just
more effortlessly than this one.
unbelievably well.
Because, yeah, this one, it felt like they painfully wrote the ending, like, to just...
Yeah.
Then the pooter toot hits the branch, yeah.
Yeah. In the shore where they were very close to the shore. Anyway, wackiness. Was this a particularly wacky episode for you
it's
guys?
higher on the wacky. It's not overly so. I mean,
Homer and the blimp
Homer
when he's
steals a blimp.
texting and it goes through the roller coaster and the, the train tunnel.
Yeah.
How it just
I mean, and the fact that Marge is incapable of catching a very slow-moving toy.
Yeah, even Wiggum, who can't bend down to catch a toy, and then
that
can't
was a
bend
great
down to
moment.
catch
Hey,
a
funny as
criminal,
hell, but
and then can't bend down to
there's
catch
that
his
girl.
hat, and then can't bend down to catch his pants.
it's
hilarious.
funny, but
what was
wacky.
the line?
But it's
What was the
wacky.
line? How? Yeah. Oh, there's that girl I like from high school.
He's
Hey.
married. He has a child. Wiggum, what are you doing?
Maybe if I use a pen.
We've all been in the point of maybe if I use a pen to pick this up. And if you haven't,
We gotta lose some weight,
Actually,
boys.
no.
I mean, you don't.
We have all been in the situation where it's like, I could get up and reach that object, but I'm
Oh,
gonna grab
man.
a pen.
Yeah, I still maintain if you've never improvised an object to grab another object, I don't want to talk to you.
That's what made us men.
Improvisation, motherfuckers.
It's sort of like a throwback to when Burns and Homer were trapped in the avalanche.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just like that. Oh, there's that girl from high school because, like, even if you're in a
Throwback
long
to
term,
Debbie Pinsner.
Yeah.
Pinson.
even if you're in a long-term relationship, you kind of always wonder about Debbie Pinson, and like, then she walks by and you got your pants around your ankles, and it's like, how good are you at pulling up pants? That was a thing that actually happened in this episode.
I still like that it's just an everyday point. That's great. I mean, if you want to, like, as I said during the episode, if you want to turn that into a pickup line, reverse it. So, how good are you at putting pants on the ground? This has been Sex Advice with BT Calloway Do not take it.
So it wasn't okay. So there was a few wacky elements, but you know, in the broad
overreach
scope of the Simpsons,
No,
not
in the broad scope,
particularly.
it had a weirdly downer point of Otto thinking he'd been responsible for the death of like 20 kids for years.
Yeah, and I think Simpsons conspiracy hashtag that explains his drug use.
Ah, wow. We're getting into hashtags. You got to remember that one I've forgotten.
Also, I mean, there's like a good 2-3 minutes when Lisa discovers 20 bodies in a bus.
Yeah.
Kids watching this are going to be like, wow, there's a dozen corpses.
So
2 dozen
many corpses.
And it's only later when they're like, pop, mannequins.
Let's make it kid friendly. One dozen corpses.
Hey.
Well,
Two-
I mean,
two
no, on that
dozen
point,
corpses.
because that's like an act break, I think, at that point. So yeah.
Ad break there.
You got to mull on that for a whole 30 seconds of ads, man. You're all being like slung coke and Special K, and you're like, dead kids.
Drugs are we on?
And it's like, yeah, clearance sale at JB Hi-Fi, but what the fuck happened right there, man?
Yeah.
So talk about the heart. Was there heart in this episode, Beach?
24 hearts, but they weren't beating anymore, man. They were stuffed in a bus, bottom of a river.
They were mannequin hearts. They were made of plastic.
You're making that an album, and I want to listen to it. 24 mannequin hearts at the bottom of the ocean. I got like 6 indie boners.
Your scarf was fluttering.
Ooh. That's such a good title, I'm sorry.
What was the heart of the episode, Beach? Was there heart?
Not hugely. This is more about the randoms goings-ons. I would rate this a mild heart, not even spicy.
No, more Seinfeldian in its heart. Like coming back to what you were saying, Shag. That it's a episode where there's 4 storylines going on. It comes back together at the end. That's more of a Seinfeld trope where there's no heart in it. Do you have more to say about the heart?
No, man. You look for the heart. Naturally, you look at Lisa and Maggie and Marge. Lisa, she's always a charming, sweetie sort of person. She's just sort of in her detective mode.
Yeah.
Marge, she's being sort of wacky. Oh, I'm so embarrassed by this simple thing. Oh God, it's
Such good Marge.
She's
though.
being so housewife.
That is
yeah.
classic Marge.
sure so innocent and naive to be offended by this farting toy. Oh my God, what will the neighbors think in
Mild
church?
tastelessness.
Oh, I wish she dropped to her knees when she said
Yeah,
that. That would have made
that'd be great.
As tradition, we sort of go through the quotes and the influence, but
I've
was
yelled
there any other quotable moments?
I've
you
yelled
wanna point out?
mild tastelessness the entire time.
Yeah, I like Fly the Blimp, you spoiled kids so much. And it's so much that I think, oh, this generation's so privileged, but it's just more the options sort of discussion of it all.
Come on,
It's
we've
really
had
funny.
the same thing. Like, it's not this generation is so privileged, it's we're so privileged.
Yeah.
I
And
could have
it's like-
played Super Blimp Flyer 64 or Slimper Blimp Fire.
But the very fact that we
try
know
saying
the
simple.
differences between the console versions of games,
Yeah.
I think that just does talk to the privilege of our generation, and I like that.
I'm not going to call it privilege. I'm going to call it the ideal, because what you want is a generation who doesn't have to worry about dying,
Exactly.
who can squabble about petty shit, like which console is better. That's the civilization you want.
And that's essentially what the spirit of podcasting is.
Yeah,
the,
we
the
can
spirit of
squibble
privilege.
about random freaking episodes of The Simpsons,
Simpsons.
because we're not worried about dying. That's freedom, man.
But we are, so we're leaving our legacy to the world, which is watching episodes of The Simpsons and talking about it.
Yep. Again,
Oh,
reiterate.
sorry, did I make you feel existential, Shag?
Welcome to the
No, man.
existential half hour. As we said previously, one of us will enjoy this for millennia, the others for centuries. Stay tuned to find out which.
Stay tuned.
Speaking of
For how
relevant,
long?
Century.
speaking of relevant references, hashtag brah.
Oh, okay. I said remember it. What was it? I can't remember now. Because I was yelling at you during the episode. They were. It was going through the irritable bowel syndrome people, and he yelled like something about hate crimes.
Oh, it's a wind-up hate crime.
Hashtag wind-up hate crime.
Because that's what so many toys were in the early 19th century. Wind-up hate crimes.
I was about to disagree, and then I remembered.
I don't know. Is there any other like Simpsons marathon where you'd see this fitting in place? Like,
kind of like a crime mystery, maybe.
Huh?
Crime mystery.
Yeah, sure. Conspiracy. Lisa Detective. I know Bart's not so much with Lisa in this detective one.
Put it in with Who Shot Mr. Burns in the 24 rip-off episode.
Yeah, sure. Because, I mean, I was at JB Hi-Fi the other day and, like, they're still selling the Simpsons Classics DVDs, which were originally VHSs, and they're just, like, 4 episodes on the thing which barely relate to a subject they're talking about. And, like, I think that's the spirit of what I'm going for with the hashtag segment of the questionnaire. So, like, anyway, like, Simpsons Mystery, like, I'd put this in a DVD compilation for sure.
Simpsons Mystery.
So, with awarding the awards, I am going to kick it off and give it a silver. How are you leaning, Paige?
Oh, I am also inclined to a silver.
Wow.
I mean, think this is probably the best post-20 that we've seen. It's not... It doesn't have anything in terms of narrative or structure or really heart or development, but you're at 20 plus seasons. You've done that. There's no way to really reiterate the whole heart, or at least as far as I know, that you could do that again without rehashing yourself. Or maybe I just want to put something in silver.
But how about you, Shag? Where are you leaning?
I feel that Beej's argument is mitigating circumstances. And you got to treat the Simpsons as the Simpsons. You can't go giving it excuses and saying, well, I mean, it isn't as good as the rest of the Simpsons, but if you look at its childhood where it was abused, and you look at its broken home, and you look at its shitty job, then of course you can understand why it went postal and shot off the No, man, I'm giving it bronze. It's funny, but it's not as good as other episodes we have seen and will see in the next episode. Gags aside, this was a funny episode, but it wasn't a great episode. It wasn't by the Simpsons standards. By season 22, episode 27.
Yeah.
Sure.
To be entirely fair, on the last one, where I said it wasn't a great episode, it was building a foundation and things we would eventually move to. That's why I gave it a better rating than what it technically deserved. This is justifying myself, not justifying you, so you can wipe that goddamn puppet face off your face.
He was doing an awesome impression of the catfish from Muppets, by the way.
I was gonna be if the angry old Muppets from the Muppet Show could have expressions like
Waldorf,
Sadler and Waldorf, that would be both of them combined brilliantly, and I applaud that. But it's tough because it is such an it's a series of going so long. Is it fair to judge season 20 plus season 1 to 10?
Isn't that exactly what we're doing, though?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand by that I rated the season 1 episode 3 higher than technically should have been rounded because it was building a foundation, and I said again...
Interesting.
When we did... I can't remember the episode, but I don't know what I gave it, and I said this is what you built towards to have an episode where you can do what you want, and this is what you want to do. We didn't have a lot of character, and this is the one beyond that. It's Rome has fallen, but this is what the Romans are doing these days. Shakespearean, bitch.
And on that,
it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It wasn't, but
so it's a silver bronze from this committee.
What you sort of say? No, hang on. Maybe I should.
No, go for it.
What you're sort of saying
Yeah.
is that I cheated on the last exam. I gave it mitigating circumstances, and because of that, it's only fair to cheat on this exam as well.
The opposite of that. It's that if I'm giving an episode a pass because it was building something better, this is appreciating that there is only so many places you can go, and this is making something funny out of something that you have nothing left to build from. It's like sculpting a beautiful visage out of the crap that was left over from all the other pieces made to make better
You start
sculptures.
with a blank canvas, and you can paint
No.
anything on it. But eventually,
No.
there's just so much paint on the canvas. No matter what you add, it's gonna look like shit.
Pretty much, but you made it look good.
And we're just going to add a little push
All right,
in the
all right.
corner there.
Let's fade out here. It's starting to get weird.
Fade out while we like quietly punch each other.
Oh man, this bickering's gonna go on for months.
But that's the point, is it not?
All right. Well, overall, this is a tarnished silver.
I know, I agree with that.
Yeah.
If I could split, but we can't, Mr.
No. Individually, we can't split, but
Silver.
overall, it is a split decision between a slightly tarnished silver, and it's a good placement for this episode. I feel.
We'll call it shameful silver. Like
Not-
sterling silver, not silver.
I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. Introduce yourselves again.
And that's the end of that chapter.
I'm Homer Simpson.
And I'm Elliot J. O'Neill. This has been the Simpsons Index, and we're never tapping out.
Pretty soon.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes. And it made this noise.